Okay. Let's see. Full screen. Let me make sure this is capturing right. Okay, great, fantastic.
Yep.
Can you talk real quick and see if I can hear you?
Hello, hello,
Okay. Uh, one more time.
hello, hello.
Okay.
Yep.
Let me make sure that one, two, play all. I'll make sure my sound settings don't override you. Okay, perfect.
Are you gonna put this up on the page?
On YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, all of
Uh,
them go on YouTube, unless you would prefer not to. But like, I don't
yeah.
really get why. Uh, okay. So do you have any like thoughts going into these games that you want to talk about first?
Mm, Whenever I do this matchup, I just feel lost. I feel like I don't. I feel like I just get run down.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing for me. And I know I have like tools like dash back and whatnot. I just feel like Fox is so fast and I just get run over.
Sure. So I mean, it does kind of. It might come down to you like trying to pick like an objective best option at some points, and sometimes that like doesn't exist. Like you might have this idea that it's like the best players just like react perfectly or like try to do their best to react perfectly to everything, and to a certain degree that's true. Like the best players are really good at reacting. They do know like what's generally the best thing to react to, and they can react very quickly because they've been in the situation so many times.
Yeah.
But I you also have to realize that a lot of high level melee is also just like top players getting close to each other and then guessing at each other really fast until someone dies.
Yeah.
And that's like, I think it's funny because it kind of comes down to like it's kind of like like a meme graph where it's like whenever you're bad at melee, you like you don't understand melee. You're just like, oh, how do they know to do that? They're just like doing stuff at each other and it's working. And then you learn a little more and you're like, oh, like these players are amazing. Like they're doing this and that and this. And you learn even more about the game. You're just like, oh, these players are just really good at guessing at one another, right? So like it kind of like comes back like that, and neither understanding is like completely wrong. Um, but yeah, we can talk about it. But first, basically, I want to ask you a few more questions going off of what you said. Are you familiar with the concept of like threatening range?
Yeah. I have an idea of what my threat range is. Like, I think my max range, like, threat range is like wave dash forward, then down tilt, or like dash forward, down tilt sort of deal.
Okay, can you tell me how threatening range like plays or like plays with, or I guess like how it interacts, how it works with reaction time?
No.
Okay. So one of the key ideas behind threatening range is like it's the range at which you can get out a, at which you can get out a threat and it's not reactable.
Okay.
Okay, so for example, like let's take your wave dash forward down tilt. It's very unlikely that most foxes are going to be able to react to you just doing like a wave dash forward and then down tilt immediately at them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is threatening. So however far that goes, let's say it's like like this far. Okay,
Yeah.
that's threatening range. We'll be lazy and get it slightly wrong and say, oh, your threatening range is a battlefield platform. Actually, it's a little bit longer than that. But we're not going to worry about that. We'll just call it battlefield platform for now. Then that means if if you're right here at the end of this battlefield platform, right, and I am right here, and I'm Fox, and I'm standing outside of the battlefield platform, That means uh, whenever you try to do something at me, I can react.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that means if I am right here inside of the battlefield platform and you wave dash and down tilt towards me, then I can't react to it.
Yeah.
I'm either going to basically I'm going to have to guess. Uh, and so like either I'm going to guess right, in which case I'll punish you, or at the very least not get hit by down tilt, or I'm going to guess wrong and you're going to down tilt me.
Yeah.
So based off of this, what that means is that there are ranges where where inside of threat range, you can't react, and you need to be willing to take mix-ups and guesses, and as long as they're like reasonable mix-ups and guesses to do, and outside of threatening range, you can play more reactively.
Okay. That's what you're saying.
So does it also make sense that like in an asymmetric matchup, so like Fox versus Marth, because it's asymmetric because they're not the same character, non-mirrors, uh, each character has a different threat range.
Yes.
Right, because Fox's hitboxes are smaller than Marth's. Like they're literally just smaller, so
Yeah.
he has a smaller threat range. But he can extend his threat range by being fast. Like he's faster through the air than Marth is, and he dashes faster than Marth. So his threat range is different, especially like through the air. So does it also make sense that if I'm Marth and I'm in the air, so like if you're grounded right here, then we said your threat range is to till about here, right?
Yeah.
But what if you're in the air? Let's say your feet are right here because you use short hop. Then, uh, if you short hop in place, then does it make sense your threat range is really only to about right here?
Yeah, if I don't drift, but yeah. Well, even if I drift, yeah.
Right, because you jumped in place. Even with
Yeah,
full
yeah.
drift forward, you can only get a hitbox out so far.
Yeah.
So based off of which state you are, then your threatening range will change, and it's your job to identify based upon what you want to do, both what your opponent's threat range is at each state, and if you're inside of it, you need to decide: am I going to try to get out of it so I can play more reaction, or am I willing to play, or do I think the situation is good enough for me to play a guessing game with him? And then if I guess right, I kill him.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
So yeah, and I'm talking about this because you're. It seems like you're talking about like, oh, no matter what I do, the fox just like kind of catches me and he beats me up, which kind of suggests to me that you're trying to react a lot of the time when you're too late. You're already inside of Fox's threat range, and well, I mean, at that point, like we said, you have to be willing to guess at those ranges. If you aren't willing to play a guess-based game, then you have to be playing from further away.
Hmm.
And if you feel like he's able to react to you too much, then you need to be able to play closer up.
Okay. So I think this goes into play of like I need to learn Fox's primary like threat ranges, like what he's going to do, like what his approaching options are, so that
Yeah,
I can get around them.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Of course, it's very important. So, like,
Yeah.
yeah. So, for example, how do foxes usually approach you, right?
Um, dares and nares.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to be more specific than that. How? How does he dare or nair at you? Does he full hop?
Short
Does he just like dash? D- does he just dash short hop? Does
dash, short
he
hop,
dash
dare.
full hop? Does he like jump in place or whatever? Right? It's important
Yeah.
to like talk about that because like we said, if you're in a different state, then your threat range is different.
Yeah.
So Fox's most common approaches, like you said, dares, nairs, and running shines, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll like short hop down air at you, and then it'll like go this far, or he'll neutral air at you and it'll go this far, or he'll do a running shine.
Mm-hmm.
And based off of that, so based off of this, okay, let's use the battlefield platform again. It's a nice question. So let's say like the dare and nair and running shine are, let's say they are all this distance.
Yeah.
Uh, that means uh, as soon as I get inside, I need to make a decision about whether I think he is going to dare, nair, running shine, or do nothing.
Okay.
And outside of that distance, I need to decide like, am I like, do I think I can react better than him? Because like, I'll be able to dash dance grab one thing, but not necessarily the other, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just like keeping this in mind. I guess if I'm right, then I'll probably be talking about threat range a pretty fair amount here. So let's just see. By the way, I'm probably just gonna be watching this for a little bit while I get
That's
just
fine.
get a look at everything that's going on. Then we'll go back through it.
Oh, this. I remember this. The dares.
That's good.
Oh.
This sucks. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's take it from the top. All right. So yeah, that was inside of threatening range, and you won that. And then right here, this was actually a winning situation for you. You won that guess, by the way. So it doesn't look like you necessarily make like a lot of bad guesses. But like right here, like this is clearly inside threatening range here, right? Like if he jumps at you and he does an air, or if he does a running shine, you can't possibly distinguish between the two.
Yeah.
And you jumped out, and you forward smashed him, which is smart because you got shined out of the air.
Oh, right here. I just. Oof.
So here
I
you
didn't even really
panicked.
up B.
Here you panicked. So what put you in this really bad spot was how he like up airs you, and then what puts you in a really bad spot is how you're holding in and you're drifting this way.
Yeah.
So like they can just shine you for this. He's lasering because I don't know. Basically he autopiloted and he's dumb. But drifting drifting in like this immediately made it so that like you were probably just like holding in, and then you realize right here it's like, ah shit.
Yeah.
Right here, you're holding in, you double jump early, and you're like, ah shit, I can get shine spiked. So then you like freak out and you up B really early. But if you didn't panic, and I always call this the panic up B, I hate this up B because it's so early, is instead of like drifting like this in such a way where he can just like forward tilt you and hit you, what if you could just like fall back right here, and then you still have your double jump right here, so you can double jump to the ledge, or you can go a little bit lower and still double jump to the ledge, or you can stall and then you can up B and try to sweet spot the ledge, or you can stall and then you can up B onto the stage.
Yeah.
So right here, where you like, you just like muscle memory double jump, and then you kind of freak out, and you just immediately up D. Right here, if you had just waited, then you would have been fine.
Because I could have sweet spotted.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh.
So right there, that was inside of threatening range, right?
Yeah.
So you were trying to make a guess, and it just happens that you were wrong, and that's okay. It's like sometimes you guess wrong, and like it probably feels terrible, but I think the fact is that it's okay to get outplayed. You know, it's not like a situation where it's like, oh, I missed this guaranteed thing. Like that's like you probably if it's a guaranteed thing, you should do your best to never miss it. Obviously, right?
Yeah.
But if it's like it's a thing that's like, oh, you know, I pick this option, and you know, it beats these options that I think he's going to do. And then if he does the thing that beats me, then that's okay. It's just like got outplayed.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens.
Okay. Oh, that.
Yeah, so this
Uh.
happens again because you're holding in, right? So look, this down tilt sends you out here, and then you immediately start pushing in. You see how you are drifting in here?
Mm-hmm. So it led me to get hit.
Yeah, so then he just up aired you. But if you were willing, if you did no DI, or if you drifted away here, then there's no way in hell he hits this back air. You're probably over here at this point. And then he's up here, like trying to threaten, and then you can get to the ledge.
Okay. So
So,
that's why whenever they talk about survival DIs, this is why they usually talk about like up and away specifically. I like
uh, sorry, go on, go on.
I just whenever I began playing and I began looking at DI, I would go, oh, well, my initial thought was, oh, if I hold in, I don't go as far, which isn't true. But then I started to realize, like, if I held at other certain angles, like, it was just as good. But now that I've been playing for a while, I've gotten used to, oh, I'm trying to get back into the fight, because sometimes I'm just trying to get back in there, or I'm doing stupid angles.
Right, you're holding it in a lot. And
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah, I mean, you see this is just kind of like an autopilot where it's like, oh, I really want to fight, and I really want to get back to the stage sooner, so I'm gonna like just hold in. Survival DI, by the way, is up and in, not up and away. But I mean,
Oh,
yeah. It's up and in. And it's called survival DI because it's like the general DI that makes your no, that makes your you not go into the blast zone as early. But that does not necessarily mean that if you're recovering, you should be holding survival DI. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I'm not always in a situation where I'll die.
Right. So
Like
yeah,
here.
yeah, exactly. If so, like right here, if holding survival DI, holding up and in actually gets you killed because you're holding in. If
Yeah.
you like just held out a little bit, you could still definitely make it back, and you don't put yourself at risk of getting hit.
Yeah.
So recovering is like yes, it's about having good DI on the initial hits for sure, but it's also about knowing how to recover in a way that avoids his follow up threats.
Okay.
So like he does this down tilt, and if I'm right here, it's like from this position, the only way if I hold out, or rather if I'm the Marth player right here, I say, okay, the only way I possibly die is if he goes up there and he back airs me, or I make him do something much harder and read me holding away, and like he like shine spikes me. He has to like jump out and shine spike me while I'm holding down away or something.
Yeah.
And then if he fucks up at all, I fair him and I reversal him and he's dead. So like get fucked.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
like yeah, I'm just like picking an option that's the hardest one to kill. It just
Okay.
happens that you picked one that he was covering. But he was covering it because it was free. Like he doesn't lose anything from it. His worst case scenario is you just get back to the ledge.
Yeah.
But his best case scenario was that he killed you.
Ugh. I don't like any of this right here. This is me flipping out like an idiot. Like I don't like that nair. It's a bad nair.
Why?
I don't because he just shields it and punishes me. Or like the dash attack there. Like I don't necessarily feel like the idea of a dash attack was bad. I just didn't overshoot it enough. I find like that's just bad because that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you know he didn't shield it, right?
Yeah. He
So like,
didn't need to.
okay, so describe. So I'm gonna play this interaction the next five
Yeah.
seconds after you, and then I'm gonna rewind it. And I'm gonna ask you to describe exactly what happened,
Okay.
or not from there. Start from here. Start from here.
Okay. Okay. Uh, I'm just throwing out moves that are never gonna possibly hit him. Assuming
No,
that he.
no, no, no. I
Oh.
that's not what I'm
Oh.
asking for. I'm asking for
Okay.
you to tell me what happened.
Oh. Like move
Literally,
wise.
what happened
Oh.
on the
Oh. Okay.
stream.
Oh. Okay. Up tilt nair. Up tilt nair, and then I think I turned around and I did a fair. I think that's what I did.
Okay, so the problem with this is that like this kind of like lends you into doing some pretty bad analysis because for example, when we first watched this interaction, you said, "Oh, I hate this snare because he just shields it." But he didn't shield it at all. He actually shined you for it, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask a question. What were you watching whenever you watched this interaction? Were you watching his character or yours or something else?
I was watching me.
Okay, but you know you should be watching like your generally while you're playing, you should be watching your opponent or the space between you, right? Because you should know what you're doing. You're pressing the buttons after all.
Okay, that makes sense. I
Yeah.
can. Yeah. Okay.
So that's really important. Whenever you're playing, you should be watching your eyes should not be on your character. They should be on your opponent's character. And it makes sense that it would be more difficult to react and guess to what your opponent's doing if you are watching yourself rather than them, right?
Yeah.
So it's very important to be able to watch them.
Okay.
And if you're just like, okay, yes, sometimes I lose track of myself and I'm just like, oh, how did I end up over here? But generally, I know where I am and like which buttons I'm pushing. So if you're afraid of like, oh, what if I accidentally run off a stage? I promise you, that's like not really a thing.
Yeah.
So if I were to describe this interaction, what I would say is he missed a running shine, so you try to up tilt him as a punish, but he actually short hopped away and he dashed away. Then you did a full drift forward then you did full drift forward nair, short hop nair, and you auto canceled it. And but he ran underneath you after dashing back and running shined you for it. But because he shined you out of the air, you then auto landed on the ground, and you turned around and tried to short hop fair at him. Okay, so I was wrong about short hop fair. You tried to dash dance and then short hop fair. But you see what I'm talking about here, right? It's not just like, up tilt, nair, and then fair.
Yeah.
And it's important to be able to identify exactly what happened on the screen, because if you can't tell someone, if you can't like if you can't like watch the sequence events and then describe things exactly as they happen, then you might misremember things. You might say, this nair was bad because he can shield it and he punished me out of shields, and yeah, when that's like no one shielded in this scenario at all. No one shields in these 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Not a single shield in sight. So it's important to like know to be able to accurately describe these things, because that's what will actually make you able to understand what's going on and perfectly and like be able to vocalize your problems with matchups and approach problem solving in matchups. Because if you're only focusing on your own character and you aren't like able to tell someone the exact sequence of actions that happens in each interaction, then it's just super easy to be wrong and get confused, basically.
Okay.
So this is probably a skill that you'll want to work on, and fortunately for you, it's actually very easy to work on. All you have to do is you can pick like a VOD, literally any VOD. It can be your own. It could be a top player's VOD, and you can just you just pick any like 3 second clip, and just try to describe the 3 second clip exactly as it happens. No analysis, no insight or like this was good, this was bad. Literally just say the literally what happened on the screen, and then see if you're right or not. And you need to be able to describe it until you can. You need to be able to do that until you can describe exact sequences from memory, like as soon as they happen. Because otherwise, then you could totally get caught up in your head. It's like, oh, I'm losing to this thing when it happens like one time, and it's really not why you lost at all.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So like, what happened? So what happened for the Fox player in this snare is you whiffed a bunch, right? So you did this snare. I don't think this snare was necessarily bad, but I do think that you weren't. Okay, I'm gonna take it back. I think the nair was bad, but not for the reasons you said. You said the nair is bad because like you can shield it, but I think this nair wasn't very good because you do your nair like this, and the farthest your nair could possibly go is like right here.
Yeah.
And if he just stays still here, which he's already right here, keep in mind, he can react to you jumping forward like this and just stay still. He can whiff punish you easily. Or he could do what he did and just run inside of you, because Fox is fast, and punish like this.
Okay.
So I think this nair isn't bad because, he can block it, but I think it's a bad nair because, like, you're kind of, like, just doing this neutral air kind of irrespective of his position. What I would do in this scenario, if I were the Marth player in this scenario, and I'm with this up tilt, and I see Fox is dash dancing over here,
Takes place.
yeah, I'm just going to run up on him, right? I'm going to dash over here. In fact, this is like before your dash back. Man, let me rewind and then try to... We're going to be watching this up tilt a lot. Okay.
Still moving away from me. I had so much time.
Yeah, and it's like you're in the middle of your up tilt. You have nothing to do but look at the rest of the screen, right? It's not like... And instead of dashing back here, you see where you're starting to dash back.
For nothing.
I would be running forward. In fact, I would be like trying to wave dash at him right now. And then I'd probably be like right here. and then I'd be able to jump and potentially fair him dashing in, or down tilt him if he wants to dash in, or to
Mm-hmm.
fair or up tilt if he's going to jump, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But you kind of just like did this snare because I guess you were only looking at your character and it just like felt right instead of based off of what was actually happening on the screen. Does that make
Mm.
sense?
I get what you're saying.
Okay.
Ooh.
And it's the same thing with this forward air, right? Like you're super far away. Look where he is and look where you are. This
Yeah.
forward air is never ever going to hit him. Like even though he's like right here, he's just like showing that he's just dash dancing underneath this platform, and you could have just run up some more, but you put out this forward air again because it's just like you're kind of doing it irrespective of position, and then he just punishes you for it because he was like waiting exactly for this kind of forward air.
Okay. Oh, this is I messed up there. I did the same thing where I just kind of don't take advantage of anything that happened.
Yeah, that's
Oh, that
fine.
was bad. That was bad.
That
I was
happens. It's fine.
yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's just like I mean, it's just tech skill flub. You actually run off the stage and you freaked out and try to turn around. It's fine. That's not like I know it like literally costs you a stock, but like I don't think that's like the biggest problem unless if it's happening like all the time.
Yeah.
It's a good grab. Okay, so you see where you missed that follow up
Um.
right
Go
here.
back. Oh yeah. Think did I not? I think I up tilt here and I didn't wait long enough to do it whenever he's getting up.
No, you actually, if I recall correctly, you actually just short hopped and did nothing. See?
Ah. Okay.
So again, important to be able to like go back and see
Yeah.
and call the interactions exactly as they happen, right? Because
Mhm.
again, like I up tilted and it was too late, would give you the completely wrong takeaway about this situation.
Mhm.
So,
Oh yeah.
but if you had aerialed, but you can totally see how if you had aerialed on that short hop, then it would have hit, right?
Yeah. Because
He missed the
go
tech.
off.
He
Yeah.
missed the tech. So if you had up air right here, or even right here, or even right here, this was totally going to tip or up air him.
Yeah.
And then you just did it late.
Mm. Okay. I think I forward aired here. Nope. Okay. Oof.
So I would walk up here.
Yeah. I
I would
feel
just walk
can
up here.
just walk up here
Yeah.
and jab.
Uh, I would walk up. You could walk up and forward smash. I don't want to counter because he can go like this and then go over the counter. Uh,
Mhm.
the best thing to do would be to run off fair here. Run off fair
Run off
is
there. Okay.
yeah. You just run off fair, and if you don't fast fall it, then you'll live. You'll hit him, and then if he DIs in, you can get a second fair. Uh, I don't hate this down tilt. This down tilt is pretty good because it lets you cover more options. But after the down tilt, you probably shouldn't be forward smashing here. Uh, I would probably just up air here. You can do like a down tilt to cover low, and then up air to react to high.
Yeah.
That's a good forward air.
Ooh.
What's going there? Yeah, so you down tilt him for running in. You dash back. But again, like this is kind of like a nonsense thing to do, right? No hate. Like you down tilt him. Okay, perfect. And then you dash back. Great, great, very safe. And he shields. So he shields. So like if you're just like looking at like a melee puzzle, right? You're looking at a still. This is like a Fox and a Marth player, and you see this situation. What do you say the Marth player should do here?
Oh god. From this distance? God. I think a grab's unsafe right here if I run back and go to grab. I feel like he has so much time and I won't be able to get there. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like a down tilt, like running back in down tilt or some kind of spaced aerial.
Okay,
I feel like
here's
that's safer.
yeah. I like the space aerial the most. And here's why. Let's approach the question from a different perspective. What is
Yeah.
the Fox player likely to do here?
Um, Either take space. I think he would just take space here, right?
Okay, well, how would he? It's awkward for him to take space though, right? Because he's in shield.
Yeah.
So his most likely options are he's going to like jump out of shield, but if he jumps out of shield, it's going to be in place. So he
Yeah.
can't get that much distance with the jump. Or he
Yeah.
could wave dash forward, which would put him probably about here. In which case, like, I don't know, it's still pretty good for the Marth player. Like, he could dash, he's like dash here. Or the Fox player could like wait, or he could wave dash back.
Hmm.
I think those are the most likely options for him to like. In fact, I think the most likely options are for him to like try to back up, or I guess like roll behind you in case you do that, whatever. But the
Okay.
point is like, look what you did. You did like this full hop fair, and like so like I would have been wrong. To
Yeah.
be clear, I would have been wrong. I would have probably like tried to fair right here, and then he would have like I don't know, maybe it would have caught his roll actually, so maybe I wouldn't have been wrong. I would have tried to space the aerial like you suggested, but you kind of just like full hop fared out here, and I don't know, I can't think of like a real reason to do that.
Yeah. I think this might have just been me trying to short hop,
Uh huh.
but I don't know.
I mean, even even like doing though. I mean, even if this is meant to be a short hop, like look how you do it. Uh, like you did it like dashing all the way forward, and then you only pull back at the last second. So like
Yeah.
if you short hop this fair, it probably ends up like right here, where he could shield grab you for it, right?
Yeah.
Instead of like doing it more in place, where you could put it right here, and you can't shield grab you because you got a tipper aerial.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like no, there's no reason for me to be doing these things because they don't cover any of the things that he can do.
Right. So the question is, why did you do them?
Mm, I am unsure.
Right. Okay. Then that's fine. But it's something that you need to like be able to identify and address, right? If you don't,
Yeah.
it's like you can't identify like, oh, why did I do this thing? Then you need to be able to like ask yourselves like, well, why don't I know? And what should I do instead? And finally, most importantly, how can I fix the fact that I don't that I'm just doing things and I don't know why I'm doing them?
Hmm. Okay. Uh, Best answer here. I I remember a mental note that I think Josiah told me. He told me is whenever I was in corner to no, it was leftovers. I remember now. Leftovers told me whenever I'm here
Mm-hmm.
that it's just bad for me to be here because what I used to do was I would go to ledge.
Okay.
So here I'm probably using the mental note that I have of try to fight your way out of the corner
Okay.
because I know I am at such a disadvantage here. I think that's why I did that. I just think I executed it like shit.
Okay. Now, I think you could like try to fight your way out of the corner, or I think you could like try to sneak out with a roll. A roll actually would have worked here in this scenario.
Yeah.
Um, I think being in the corner does suck at Marth as Marth.
Yeah.
But like you aren't like he's basically in center stage. Like it would be much worse if you were right here and Fox were like much more in your face. Then I'd feel
Yeah.
much more pressured. But I'd say like with this position, you have a pretty decent amount of room. So the question is like, and this is like the important thing is like, how are you going to start picking options that like, uh, you'll be able to like justify why you pick them? I mean, and keep in mind, they don't always have to be right, but there should be a reason that you're doing each thing you're doing, right? It should all lead
Yeah.
you towards like, uh, have have you seen my drug fox melee flowchart?
Uh, I think you sent it. Was it? Oh yeah, I have. I have.
Yeah. So let me pull that up here. that
I think
nerd
it's
talk right
inertia.
here. Yeah, so like, look at this. I
I've got it on my
guess,
phone.
yeah. I'm going to add, then move it above. No, that's not gonna. Okay, whatever. I guess the recording's just not gonna see it. But yeah, if you see like you start off and then all of your decisions should lead you towards these things, right? So you
Yeah.
should have a decision that's like, why am I doing this fair? It's because I think I can hit him safely, or because I think it plays a favorable mix-up for me. Not just like, I don't know why I did this. Does that make
So
sense?
yeah, everything has to have a reason.
Yeah, and it's like
Okay.
I'm not asking for you to like be like consciously thinking during games because I think
Yeah.
consciously thinking during games sucks. I'm not asking for you to be like fucking like six head like, oh, this was my master plan the whole time
Yeah.
for this to happen during the game. No, but I'm asking, but what I want is for you to be able to is like, yeah, like there's a real reason to do this fair, and the reason why is because if it, I think I can kill him off of it if it connects or whatever. It's just like it should be something that you're able to look at and be like, yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah. As opposed to what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, and you do
Oh,
a
here,
lot of
wait.
things that do make sense, by the way. Just like, in these specific scenarios, sometimes, and I think it's because you're looking at your own character rather than the rest of the screen, you do things that only make sense in the context that you are only looking at your own character.
Can you go back 10 seconds? This has been a scenario that I've been asking on the boards for a little while. Little more, little more. So, keep going. It's it's like I'll tell you when to stop. It's a scenario where like right here where after the fair and everything, Fox starts chasing me down. Like it's coming up. Here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you see how I take off? So, I know that standing still gets me running shined.
Uh
And I
huh.
know that because my back's turned to him, I can't do anything.
Uh huh.
Like, well, not I can roll, but
Yeah.
so,
What's wrong with rolling?
mm, I'm honestly, I don't really feel like I feel like the best he can do to that is what
I mean, if
dash
you,
back in and grab me. But I mean, I don't really feel like he's always going to be prepared for that.
yeah, I mean, if he reads you rolling, then he can get a punish, right? But like,
Yeah,
if he reads you doing anything from this position, he can get a punish. This is
yeah,
inside of threatening range, right?
yeah.
You can't react, so you just have to guess.
Yeah, because right here, what ends up happening, and it's the crow does this a lot to me whenever, well, he did it a lot to me during the weeklies, where here I always do the same thing. I always run away
Mm-hmm.
until I run out of space, but then I
Yeah.
give my opponent like all of my stage economy because
Yeah.
I feel like in my mind the only answers are like uh pivot grab back in or run back dash back in and grab, and I don't know, like I think right here, if I recall correctly, because I didn't see it the first time we played it, because I think I just end up giving him a bunch of space right here and end up getting screwed because of it.
Okay, so your problem is that you're trying to like immediately get a win out of a disadvantaged position. Let's go
Yeah.
back to the flowchart. Right here, we are. Let's see. We did not hit him safely, and we cannot play a phasal mix-up. So, like we're actually right here. Okay, you're trying to be over here at can I hit them safely?
Yeah.
You cannot, in fact, hit him safely. And you
Okay.
also cannot play a favorable mix up. The best you can go in this mix up is escaping the pressure, which is actually like uh, going from where you are right now to neutral would actually be a favorable outcome. But most of the outcomes favor the Fox player. Like on average, Fox is going to hit you here. So the
Yeah.
question here is, can I improve my position? So my point here is to say, when you're talking about, oh, my only answers here are to dash back and then turn around and grab him, right now, you are thinking too much about, can I hit him?
Yeah.
Right now, you need to be thinking, how do I not get fucked?
Because I'm on the defensive.
Yes, you are on the defensive here. So what would I do here? I would shield, or I would roll, and like sometimes he gets me. It's like, all right, you got me. But
Yeah.
instead of like always trying to like fight your way out of a disadvantaged position like this,
Yeah.
sometimes, and much of the time, uh, it's more important for you to just get out any way you can.
Yeah. Okay. He fucks up.
Yeah, and you kill him. No, you don't.
I wish. I wish I was that
I
good
think I
paladin.
think I think counter sucks here. By the way,
Really? What do you think I should have done?
forward smash. I would forward smash. No, it's not a joke. Forward smash is really good here. Okay,
Yeah.
on Battlefield, first off, Battlefield, most base animals, they love going straight up. They always go straight up in Battlefield. They don't want to get Battlefield. Uh,
Yeah.
Magi doesn't always go straight up. She goes in, but counter really only covers if they go straight at you, right?
Yeah.
Or instead of forward smashing here, I could see if you like covered the ledge, if you short hopped like right
Mm-hmm.
here and you did a fair, and then that would, and you time your fair so that it covers if he goes like in, so that tippers him if he goes in, and if he goes up, you still have time to like react and then cover him because he's going to be all the way up here, and then you still have time to get a forward smash or a down tilt.
Howard, if I walk forward, if I walk to teetering distance and I counter there, would that hit?
Absolutely not.
Okay, I didn't think so.
He's so far away. It would never work.
Ooh.
Yes, you did this early up B again, right? And it happens that he's drilling and it does go below, so like sometimes you just get drilled even though you go for it. But actually, hilarious. If he hadn't drilled you there, you would have died.
Yeah, I would lose Vila. Okay, thank
That's a
God.
good grab. A little sloppy on the follow up. Do you want to talk about this follow up, or would you rather?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you got this grab, and then you up air him on that side.
Yeah. I think I was trying to go for soft hit up air,
Yeah,
and so, but like, I think I just went a little too far to the left, I guess would be. Yeah, I went way too far to the left instead of just going a little more to the center of the platform.
yeah, and your other big problem here is that you're all the way down here, and he's all the way up there.
Yeah.
So what I would have done is I would have not short hopped this up air. I would have full hopped with this up air and tried to land on the side platform after it, and then I could chase him to the top platform because I'm up here and you're down here. Does that make sense? So like, look at it again.
Okay. Grab up.
You grab an up throw, and then I would do my up air in such a way so that instead of like sharking him from below here, I would full hop. I would just jump, dash forward, and jump and up air him here and land on the side platform.
Okay. And then that means if he goes to top platform,
It's
I'm
easier for me to chase him instead of like being down here, which is like, oh, now he's just up there and I can't get him. It's like
Mhm.
maybe I can play mix up, or like if he does a tech roll, I'll be able to catch him with fair. Or if he goes straight up, then I can just continue doing stuff from right here.
Yeah. Ooh, bad back air.
So the important thing there was that you need to land on the platform.
Yeah, to make my options easier, to make my strings easier. Ooh, I was trying to fall down back air there.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is another situation where you just have to get ready to guess, right?
Yeah.
He's fast and he's going to catch you. So, like, you could just turn around and grab right here, which is what you do.
Hmm.
And I guess he thought you were going to dash back, so he went for an overshoot down tilt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I'm not like so much seeing a problem where it's like you're like trying where you're like afraid to guess or something. It just seems like you always guess with dash back grab, which is a good option. So like whatever. I think you were a little slow on this. Yeah, you were slow. You could have after fourth throw they hold in like this. You could just get down tilt and
Yes.
kill him, or
Really?
not
But
kill, or not kill. Like this fourth throw down tilt on that DI is guaranteed, and he still has his jump. But yeah,
ugh. Is there anything for me to do out of that drill? I feel like it's just kind of.
SDI for your life, but it's guaranteed.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, so this is another thing. I noticed like a lot of your aerials are always like this. Okay, they're
Yeah.
like you did nair like full forward, and then you did from this corner. We like the situation a lot. You did full hop fair, full forward, and now you did short hop fair, full forward.
Yeah.
So you always do your aerials full forward, but like you can clearly see that. Let's back it up. You can clearly see. Actually, if you had see that fair where you did it straight down,
Yeah.
imagine if you had done that same fair right here.
Yeah.
So like you jump from here, you can still see the dust. If you had fared like right here, you would probably hit him, right?
Yeah.
Instead of doing this.
Can I cancel my momentum out of that dash by just holding down and doing the fair there?
No, but you
Or
can
do
hold back after jumping.
Ah, that's true.
Like the drift matters a lot. You always want to like with Marth, you always not okay, always is a strong word, but you generally want to make sure your aerials are being done in such a way so that they are either retreating or they're in place. Because
Yeah.
I keep telling everybody this today. You're the third person I told this today. Uh, hitboxes are bigger whenever you're retreating.
Why?
Okay. Do you want the science? Like the actual science?
Dumb it down to me.
Okay. Basically, the way it works, the way Melee interprets hitboxes is that you. Let me.
Oh, wait, I have a question. I feel like I have a guess. So, wait, does that mean that offensive hitboxes are smaller?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so let me guess. Whenever they come out, they take up a set amount of space, and as I'm moving forward, they continue to occupy that space. So, which means that if I put out my fair, it's that hitbox, because I know it's a bunch of hitboxes going forward. Does that hitbox just stay there, or does it move with me?
Uh, yes, you're on the right track. Okay,
Okay.
so this is how hitboxes work. This is PM, but this is also
Yeah.
how Melee works. You see these bubbles? These are
Yeah.
Marth's hitboxes, and these bubbles are also Marth's hitboxes. So this is where they are on this frame, and this is where they are on the previous frame. And the way it connects these is it takes where your hitbox was last frame and where your hitbox is this frame, and it just draws a blob to connect them. Thus, like this, which is how you can see that Roy does not get hit by this forward smash.
Okay, because at no point in time do the bubbles occupy where he sits. Okay.
Yes, and it's always the last two frames of it.
Oh, fuck.
Okay?
Okay.
So you can see how if you're Marth and you're doing a fair like retreating, then like your body is moving backwards relative to your hitboxes, but like your hitbox is still out where you were a frame ago, but you're like a whole frame backwards now. So it's stretching further out.
Okay.
But if I'm going forward, then like the my hurt box is one frame forward, and like I don't have that previous hitbox covering me anymore,
Alright, I see what you're saying.
or the previous frame covering me anymore. So it's important with Marth that as much as possible, you want to, even when you dash forward, you want to dash forward and then set up your jump so that you can do your aerials retreating or in place so that you can maximize their disjoint.
Okay. So me aggressing not only is putting me in bad places, but it's also not as good as just keeping my ground. Okay.
You can aggress, but usually it'll be with like you'll like try to manage it so that you can still maximize your disjoint. So it'll
Yep.
usually see like dash forward and then fair in place, or dash forward and then do a retreating fair, and that's how you'll like take space with the dash forward and then make your biggest possible hitbox with the retreating fair.
Okay. Instead of me just jumping extra high and drifting extra forward to make my approaches. I see.
Yeah, and it's like sometimes that's right, but
Yeah.
in general, like neutral, it's like usually not the best idea. Like usually when people say like, "Oh, Marth aerials like suck and they're easy to whiff punish," that's because they're thinking of Marth like going full forward with these aerials, kind of like maybe a Fox player would. But that's it's more viable for Fox because he's super fast through the air.
Mm-hmm.
It's more viable for Fox and Falcon because they're fast through the air, so they can get there. But Marth isn't, so he has to get there by abusing his disjoint.
Aren't the Spaceys hitboxes also just constant hitboxes?
Yes, they stay out in one place for longer,
Okay.
but that's a completely different thing.
Yeah, that's a completely different can of beans. I was just curious.
Yes,
All right. Ooh.
got him.
Debated. Ooh.
That's fine. I don't hate it. Whoops! Did you mean to grab here?
I
I would have grabbed.
crossed.
Right here. Surely this was
Yeah.
a jump cancel grab. Oh, I know what happened. You jump cancel grab with tap jump, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened. I used the Y button. I just pinched with the Z button.
All right.
I don't know, like, if you usually miss jump cancel scraps like that or not, but pinching might help if you get accidental up airs.
Mm-hmm. I think the if I don't use stick, then I use X and Z, and I just press them
Yeah,
at the same time.
yeah. Keep in mind that whenever you fuck that up, you just get an air. So, like, which would you rather accidentally do?
Ooh.
Again, holding in. See?
Again,
Yeah, but you identify this. Uh, okay.
where I should have held back, and I would have been completely safe. Well, not completely safe, but
Yeah, at least it wouldn't have been so free, right?
yeah.
You were slow on this. I think you missed an L cancel here, by the way. Yeah, you missed an
I
L
did.
cancel. You missed your snap to the ledge. Very important.
And then I held down.
Yeah, very important. You need a snap to the ledge on this.
Is it up and to the right, and then
What?
rolling it down, like to shine to roll to ledge? Is it just like up and into the ledge and then down?
There's no up required. You just time a fast fall.
Wait, are you guys just clicking into the stage?
No,
Basically.
I just time a fast fall.
Oh.
I just tap down at the right time and I grab the ledge.
Oh my God, Howard, I've been doing like a
There,
quarter circle from the
there's
top right.
there's
In.
no complicated input. You just tap down.
Okay.
You just need to make sure you time it correctly.
Wait. When? Okay, go back like about around when. Okay.
Right here.
Oh, it's whenever I just like begin to start falling.
Yeah, right before I just tap down.
Okay.
Let me
Held
make
down.
sure that's right. Yeah, I would hold down right here. I would tap down right here.
God damn. Okay.
Yeah, that's all there is to it. It's not that hard.
No, I'm sorry. I was laughing by myself about how like actually consistent you were with just getting that frame. But then
Yeah,
I was like, it's
it's
literally
not
the
that
same
hard.
thing.
You
as
just
what
tap
I
down. Yeah, it's
did.
not that hard.
I got you. I got you.
All right. So that's about an hour. I know that you had other VODs, but
It's
yeah,
late. I
yeah,
understand.
just not really gonna be able to get to it. If you want, we can go over those another time, or you can get some more, and we can review those at a different time. but I try to keep everything at about an hour, give or take 10 minutes.
That's fine.
Okay.
Alrighty. Thank you, Howard. You've been a big help.
Yeah, no problem.
Alright.
Make sure you practice looking at the screen. Like, stop looking at your own character, and try to like learn play friendlies where you're trying to learn how to look at your opponent's character and the space between your characters rather than your own character. I think that will help you a lot.
Alright. Uh, don't hold in. Don't be so antsy. Don't aggress the same ways I've been. Uh, and
I
watch my opponent.
Yeah, I think watching your opponent is going to help with all of that, okay? Because as
Alright.
soon as you start watching your opponent, you're going to be like, he can hit me, so I'm not going to hold in off stage as much because you'll see where he is and you'll see where he could possibly, like all the spots where he could possibly hit you. So then it will be automatically become more intuitive to not hold in so much so that you can avoid him because you're looking at him.
Yeah.
And like the way you aggress with your hitboxes is like, oh, do I need to dash forward and do an aerial like this based off of how he is? Like, probably not. So the number one most important thing I'm telling you is look at your opponent.
I've got you.
All right.
Alrighty. Okay. Thanks,
Nope.
Howard.
Yep. No problem.
Alright. Later, man.